Today's video, I got a little unboxing kind of review on the Kahtoola, who knows? But it means something special in some foreign indigenous mountain language. But this is the K-10 hiking crampons with leaf spring flex bar. This is the box that it came in. One of them was kind of attached to the top like this. I've taken them out. I have not worn them outside of the house yet, so pretty excited to test them out. I got a lot of snow and ice here where I'm at. I already covered like 3 miles today looking for elk and deer sheds. Haven't found anything yet, but hopefully I don't go home empty-handed. But there were quite a few times when I wish I had these on, so I'm going to make this video while they're still new and clean, and then put them on, give them a little test run, and I'm going to test them the whole rest of spring bear season and give you guys my 2 cents when spring bear season's over and I've given them a good fair honest test. Now ideally I would have tested them over the entire winter, but I just got them like a week ago, so better late than never. But I've always wanted a pair of crampons. I've never owned a pair. I've never put on a pair until I tried these at home. So I'm pretty excited to see how these work out. We've got a pretty late winter here in Montana for starting spring bear. We got a lot of snow already, or still into mid-April already, and we got opening day in a couple of days. So pretty crazy, but I wanted these because I'm going to be covering a lot of snow, getting up really high, going through a lot of creek banks and things like that. So just found a tick on me. These aren't super crazy. They don't have such deep spikes. They're not super heavy. They look like they're made out of a painted steel with a stainless steel flex leaf spring type thing, so it does have a little flex to it. So if you're walking, it's not going to be one solid rigid piece, which I'm pretty excited about. They're adjustable. Basically you just unclip this and slide it forward or back and then lock it back in, and then the front half kind of slides back in to compact it a little bit more, and then when you're ready to use it you just pull the front off. And that's currently set to my shoe size of 12. So I bought the extra larges thinking that I have a size 12 foot. I wear insulated and non-insulated winter and fall hiking boots, so I went with the extra large, and I think these are actually too big. I'm actually on the last hole, so I can't make these any smaller. So it probably would have been better off using the larges, and they might be even a little bit lighter, but I'm not too concerned about it. If I absolutely hate how big they are or whatever, I'll return them. But I already got these parts installed. These are like the snow pad that you just slide over all 6 teeth here and all 4 teeth here, and it's really hard to get these on. I got really strong hands, really big strong hands. I think I'd be surprised if a woman can get these on. And attack me all you want, but that's just the reality. Men are stronger than women biologically, and that's all there is to it. So I could barely get these on, and I'm a pretty strong guy. So if you're a woman buying these, maybe have your boyfriend or your husband put these on for you, because you'll break something. You'll break a fingernail, you'll break a bone, I don't know. But they're on, and I'm not taking them off for this review video. You can pretty much see how they are just fine with them on. So I'm going to get a little video of me putting them on in the snow here, and then I'm going to do a full season of hiking and jumping and climbing, looking for bears. So then I'm going to do my little review after that. Alright, so you start off with making sure your shoelaces are both really tight as you want them to be, because you don't really have the opportunity of tightening them with crampons on. But basically you just unbuckle both of the buckles, set it to your length. You just stick the front of your boot in first, buckle that up, then do the rear. Buckle that up as well, and tighten everything down. Just like that. Now they're on. this one. And then just fix up any of the loose stuff if you have anywhere to tuck it in. Otherwise it's fine, don't matter. Well, just like that. Now they're on. You may need to adjust the fronts if it's too tight and pinching a little bit. But I'm gonna go take these for a spin. Alright, so initial impressions on the Kahtoola K-10 hiking crampons. No sheds here. You have to work a little bit at walking because you have to bend that leaf spring thing. But it's not as bad as I expected, and you almost forget you even have them. The only thing that reminds you that you have them on is when you hit a rock or you kind of step through some gravel. They're very loud. They squeak when the steel slides against a rock. So keep that in mind if you're using it to hunt or whatever. If you're hunting in a snow only, like 100% snow and nothing else, you probably won't have an issue. But if you're hiking like kind of through what I am right here, you're going to hit rocks. You're gonna hit like wood and trees and stuff and rocks and even bones. There's literally bones right here. You're gonna hit bones, you're gonna hit rocks, you're gonna hit trees. So keep that in mind if you're hunting in like fall or spring or something like that, that you might want to take them off before you get to your goal destination, your goal glassing spot, or just hike without them at all, because if you hit a rock, you will squeak. And how loud that squeak is obviously depending on how hard you hit it. Okay, crap. It's not bad. Like if you're just kind of walking through the woods, like grassy, kind of like this, it's not bad. But keep in mind, those are my initial impressions. The straps are getting caught on branches and actually just caught it on the other crampon. So I might have to revisit how the straps tuck away, how the extra strap tucks away, or just cut it off entirely. You know, if I'm just pretty sure that I'm not going to need any more length on them. But that's mine. Oh, just got it caught again. So keep that in mind. But overall, not bad. I'm liking them so far. Walking through dirt and grass and stuff isn't as bad as I expected. So sadly, they don't help you find sheds though. All right, well, I've had a good chance to use them. I think I can give my 2 cents on these things. Obviously, I haven't had them for years. I just got them this spring, right before bear season, and used them quite a bit during bear season, early season, of course, and tried using them a little bit more later season, but found I didn't exactly need them out of the snow and the ice. But I will have to say, they do work very well in mud and wet grass, in any kind of softer, looser material. So obviously snow, they do very well on ice, grabbing ice and walking on ice. But don't, my takeaway is don't just write these off as winter only or early spring or whatever, late fall season only, because they're, you know, made for snow and ice or whatever. They do very well in mud. They do very well in wet grass, even dry grass. The only thing they do not do well on is bigger rocks. So if you're trying to walk on stuff like this, you're gonna have a hard time, and you're also gonna dull them, and potentially even cause some sparks, because this steel is it's not like any kind of super fancy high carbon steel or anything like that. It's just regular steel. It's already rusting right here. As you can see, all the paint came off and it's rusting in a lot of areas. But I did thoroughly enjoy using them when I needed them. So I'm kind of going to plan on taking them any day that I am expecting to run into snow and ice, and any day when I'm expecting to be in wet, loose, muddy soil. Dry ground, don't really need them. Your boots and your shoes and stuff, just the tread on your normal shoes is perfectly fine, and actually better for rocks and boulders like this. Some of the cons on this, so this came with like little pads. They're like fiber vinyl type of rubbery pads, 2 for both rears and then 2 for both fronts. The ones on the front for me fell right off, so they're really tough to get on. Like, it took me a lot of time one night just sitting there trying to stretch them over, because they have very little stretch, and just walking around on mud and stuff, they fell off. So the front actually started coming off, and it was just hanging on these rears and the middle ones once in a while. And so I took them off. In fact, not only did they hang, but once you step on them, the sharp points actually poked new holes through those pad parts. So I'd give those like a 1 out of 10. They did work right away. It's not like they didn't work ever at all. They did work right away when they were brand new and it was tight, but they stopped working, and there's no, even if you put them back on, they just slip right off. Especially if it's wet and it's slippery and stuff, they'll just slip right off. So those things didn't work that great. The rears held on just fine, have no issues with the rears. Both of the fronts fell off, so I took them off, and I have them in a separate little baggie. What else? I kind of wish this was made out of stainless, that way it wasn't rusting. So I'd give this material probably like a 7 out of 10, because the material is extremely durable. I haven't had any one of these bend on me or break, of course. They just kind of got dull, and dull is fine. You could always sharpen them up with something later, but the rust I'm just not a fan of. I just hate dealing with rust. Like, rust will literally just remove your material for you without you even using them. So I don't really like that. This spring right here, this leaf spring, I'm pretty sure is stainless. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but I think it's from the other material. So this stainless is perfectly fine. There's no rust on any of the stainless swivels or rivets or anything like that. And that's holding up perfectly fine. None of the rivets are broken. Nothing's wore out in my time using them. I'm assuming if I used them for years on end, every single winter, all winter long, there might be a little bit more wear. But for what I have used them for, I'm pretty happy with them. Certain things I'm not a fan of is these massive straps, these huge buckles and massive straps. If you got gloves on, these big straps and these big buckles will help you hang on, but they just add so much bulk, and they just kind of get tangled. And then this part right here that hangs out, I don't know if it's made for a really huge boot, and that's why this hangs out. I'm thinking I'm probably going to cut this off, because when I'm walking, I was literally stepping on these loose ends with the other one, and you got, you know, obviously you got hooks and stuff. You'll step on it and just smash that right in there, and I've nearly tripped multiple times from stepping on these things right here. So once you cut this, there's obviously no way to replace it. It's riveted, it's sewn in, so sadly it's not like something you can just undo for a small shoe and then replace for a bigger shoe or whatever. You'd have to get all new ones if you cut this and want to use them on a bigger shoe. I've used them on just hiking boots and stuff. I haven't used them on super big, heavy insulated like rubber winter boots or anything like that. For maneuverability, they're great. Obviously, I'd give them like a 10 out of 10. They're just awesome. They definitely help you grip, definitely help you traverse through terrain, and they are a little heavy because of all the steel and stuff on here, but I think that extra weight on your back will help you, carrying it on your back for a time you need it will help you in the long run. If you do need them, they will save your feet, save your legs, save your hips. from having to walk so hard and work so hard walking through snow and ice and mud and whatnot. Because anyone who's done that for a long time, especially like post-holing or whatever, when you're really just working your core, working your legs to make almost no progress on the ground, that sucks. So this will help you make more visible work on the ground, cover more ground with less effort. So it might be totally worth it to have in your pack, unless of course you're only going to be hitting a tiny patch of snow way on top of a mountain, but you still got 20 miles beneath that you have to cover. Then maybe you don't need it. Maybe you'd be better off saving the weight, not packing this, and then just taking your time in the ice or whatever. So just definitely something to consider. I really liked them, but like I said, it's going to be a case-by-case scenario. The biggest gripe I have about these is, and it's not like it's these in particular, it's probably anything even remotely close to this design or this material, is this is very loud on rocks. So if you're just walking on boulders, you should probably take them off. But sometimes if you're walking through, like some of the areas I walked, it was like patchy snow and melted snow next to it. So you got like this muddy mess and then snow patches. And that muddy mess exposes a lot of rocks, so it's not like just dry, loose soil on top of it. It's just rocks. And so you're walking through snow, and then you just start walking through rocks, and then back through snow, and then rock. And anytime you hit a rock with this, it squeaks, and it just clangs. And then you hit this with your, and it clangs like that on the rocks, and then when you're stepping, it just kind of like slides on the rock and just makes like a super loud chirp sound. So if you're trying to use these to sneak up to something on rocks, it ain't gonna work. It's just, don't even think about it. If you're just trying to hike into an area, like if you're hunting in the Bob Marshall and you have 5 miles to cover before you even get to huntable ground, then yeah, I'd probably put these on for those 5 miles. Once you get to huntable ground, take them off and don't use them unless it's like quiet. Like hiking through snow with these is super quiet. Hitting rocks with this is the exact opposite. So something to keep in mind. But they are very well made. They are a great tool to have. I kind of wish they compacted a little bit better, because this is basically as much as they will compact. I have size 12 shoes or feet, and I think I bought like the larges. Bought the extra larges first. They were too big for me for my shoes that I was wearing, so I bought the larges. And I think even these might be too big. But they don't compact, they don't fold down enough, so I'm not going to put this in my pack. Plus, if you're hiking through any kind of mud, they get really dirty. They get covered in mud and tree sap and needles and rocks and twigs and stuff. And so basically my only solution was to strap them to the outside of the pack and kind of hopefully just keep the dirt out there and not get it into my pack. And then if it's raining or snowing or whatever, it might kind of clean these up as you're walking through the woods, brushing up on trees and whatnot. But obviously they are sharp, they will snag on things. So if you got them on the outside of your pack, expect it to snag. If you put them into your pack, then they won't snag, but then they will just get everything inside muddy and wet. So just things to think about. Overall, there is a time and a place for them. It is not every scenario, that's for sure. But judge for yourselves. I think everyone should probably have one. If you live in Montana, even if you're not hunting, probably a good thing to have. Like if you're snowcatting, if you're ice fishing, if you're doing work on the ranch in the wintertime, if you're checking calves in the middle of the night or whatever, definitely something good to have, especially when you got freezing temperatures and then back up to thawed temperatures and then back down to freezing. You got this glare, sheets of ice everywhere, and it's a good thing to have. I wouldn't wear it like in town, look kind of goofy, but on the ranch, not a bad thing to have. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you got any questions or concerns, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.